Hello and welcome to yet another one of those underage videos. We have today a Amber CD3, which is a modified version, Australian modified version of a Teac player with some valves in it. Very nicely, very professionally done. And we have a Marantz SC-80 preamp. So first let's start with the CD player. The complaint was that this player wasn't playing all the discs, and there it is, a faulty, purposely faulty disc that it does well. And then we'll do another track, not that one because that's too easy. Let's kill it. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 9. It didn't work quite the way I wanted. It is 29, which is too easy. 1, 2, 3, 9. That's the standard for interruption in the data layer, and that it plays fine. There was a couple of artifacts there to start with, but it interpolates well, and it's a proper fault. What else we got? We got a few CDRs here in my collection. One says it's not finalized, it will not play in most players. So we'll see how this will handle it. Bear with me. Oh, see, it read it, no problem at all. That's a very interesting one. As you can see, it plays, but the counter doesn't advance. And if you hit skip, it goes to track number 3. And now the counter advances. So it is a faulty. It is a faulty CD, and then it still reads as well. And I have another one here somewhere that is particularly difficult, and it says that this will not read in these are all CDRs, of course, done for test purposes, and this one will not play in most CD players, including Pioneer, that normally reads anything, and that one works well there. Okay, so this player basically, I think, works pretty good, and it's nothing much. I mean, I could replace the head in it because it's not really a difficult thing or even expensive. You can buy original one for $10–15 depending on the source, but you know, I think it plays very well, so there's no need for that. Well, to the preamp. Well, this preamp was in a bad shape. As you can see, there is a fair amount of corrosion in the chassis and around the screws, so it must have been, there's a few more of them like here. It must have been used near the sea, and inside there was plenty of sort of dust and hairs and all, with sort of sticky substance on, maybe sea salt from the moisture in the air. Well, a lot of work. 3 relays, and these were replaced because originally when you engage the tape loop, it stopped the music, but when you disengage it like I did now, the music would not come back until you would have turned off the player. And the same was happening on tape 1 input. So this is a story with those. There was a huge distortion, and there's an op amp responsible and a transistor. And as you see, we have here 55 electrolytic capacitors. Some of them, well, there's one, you can see they're just bolts on the bottom. They're perfectly nice on the top, and they haven't bulged up there, but they all sort of, well, not all, but some have bulged more than others. There's another one here, you can see. And of course the capacity of theirs was reduced, like 47 micro would be 2 micro, and a huge equivalent series resistance. So they were just no good, and they all had to go. Now if you think about it, if you count $10 per capacitor, That's because, well, I have to find them and the different values. I have to go and find them, have to remove them, test, put them back in. That's $500 there. And of course you have to find the faults, other faults, and clean it. Cleaning of the board was very hard. It's pretty densely populated board, and it's just all manual with the brush and copious amount of isopropyl alcohol. So it wouldn't be commercially viable. It so happens it's a friend of mine from Melbourne, and he helps me with purchasing things that are local pickup only, so I just could not refuse. And it's good if you can do it yourself, but if you can't, it's not commercially viable. The unit is all good now, everything works, you know, and tone controls work, but that board, the tone control board, is not finished yet, because I simply do not have four capacitors. I don't have the values. I've just run out of those, and I have to go and get them. So what happens now when you engage direct? There's this pop in the speakers, and the same when you disengage it. So that's the only issue at the moment. But I'll just have to, when the shops open up. Today's a Boxing Day, so the shops, perhaps not all of them, are open. So well, I'll do it in a day or two. So that's all, folks. Otherwise the preamp looks pretty good, and in fact it is a balanced preamp. There is two sets of outputs, and you can put them there. There's a way of connecting it to a balanced amplifier via RCAs. Not a dual differential one. The balancing thing is done via those two transformers, matching transformers. But it's overall a good unit. It's just it was neglected, or perhaps just was, you know, too close to sea. Like everything in life, the good and bad things about it. And you live by the sea. It's close to the beach and nice views, but not good for your stereo. Well, thank you very much for your attention. Until next time. Goodbye.